Beast Wars. Running from 1996 and as late as 2001, this was my childhood line. Yes, I have a lot of nostalgia for the bombastic Generation 2, but this is the line where I started getting the figures myself. Because of this, Beast Wars will always have a special place in my heart, and I want to share that with all of you. So welcome to Beast Wars Backtrack. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Beast Wars Backtrack. Today we are looking at another one of my childhood toys. This is the Heroic Maximal Polar Claw. Now, as you can see, I don't have the original box for him anymore. Long gone. But I did manage to save his tech spec card, instructions, and this might have been the little catalog thing that came with him. I'm not 100% certain because there would have been a couple of toys that came with this, but I figured I'd show it off with this kit anyway. First, let's take a quick look at his tech spec. So, we got a strength of 9, intelligence of 7, speed of 4, endurance of 6, rank of 8, courage of 9, firepower of 8, and skill of 7. It says the secret weapon locations are the foot reveals quick attack claw and foot fires bat. This sounds like utter nonsense unless you've actually messed with the toy. Then here we got Maximal Polar Claw, function, infantry battle commander. A foot soldier with a hunter's instinct. This ballistic bear is equipped to command frontline infantry battle against the evil Predacons. Along with his savage teeth and ferocious fangs, his most devastating weapons include a quick-firing robotic bat, which features sonar sensor to detect enemies and alert Polar Claw for combat at all times and at all costs. And so here we got a nice illustration of Polar Claw and his little bat scout. It shows it firing off of his robot arm here. That's not the case. Also, according to the TF Wiki, the bat is called Bat Scout. We also have a little sort of CAD illustration thing here of the Bat Scout and the little robotic attack claw. And yeah, I love the artwork from this time period. It's just so cool looking. Over here, instructions. Not very big, considering this is a Mega Class Beast Wars character, but the transformation on this guy is actually really simple. And I always loved how for the Maximals, everything had like green highlights and the Predacons had purple. I thought that was a cool little way of doing things. And the way the instructions are set up is actually very similar to how G1 and even G2 instructions were. It wasn't until a little bit later that they actually started deviating from sort of the house style they had developed. And I won't show everything off on this, but if you guys are interested, I have several of these things and I could probably do some videos on them. I guess let me know in the description below if you're interested in seeing more of these catalogs. Let's see, can I find Beast Wars real quick? Here we go. So this is showing off basically the initial waves of stuff. Here's the comic 2-pack, Megatron and Optimus Primal. These are just the basic ones for the initial releases. So we got Pterosaur, Razor Beast, Rat Trap, Iguanus. We got the deluxe ones here for Dinobot, Tarantulas in his original orange color scheme, Waspinator with a sort of silver robot head there, and Cheetor with his I think that's the strange version of his tail gun that I'm not sure if it ever actually went into production or what. And then here we have the Mega Beasts, Scorponok and Polar Claw. Mine isn't quite as nice looking as this, but it's been a while. So yeah, now let's go ahead and take a look at the figure itself. And this guy was one of my favorites growing up. That's why I'm kind of featuring him now ahead of some others that I probably should be reviewing first. But I've just always loved this guy. And I think maybe part of that is because he was never on the show. So I was able to concoct my own personality for him. I came up with the idea that he probably spoke with like a Russian accent. Because polar bear, I guess. And I can't remember if I gave a personality to the bat drone, the bat scout as the wiki calls it, or not. But yeah, so articulation wise, he's kind of limited. You have a little bit here. Whoop. But you break the sculpt when you try using it. It's mainly there for the transformation. The back legs move a little bit, and if you move them a lot, he opens his mouth and goes, "Roar, roar, roar." You can also position his toes up if you want. That's a thing you could do. And overall, I think he's actually pretty good in hiding most of his robot stuff. The back legs here are the main ones that kind of really show off too much stuff. You also can see the red here, but overall, everything is nicely tucked away, and that's partly because his transformation is somewhat simplistic. And you know what? Speaking of transformation, let's go ahead and move on to that. We can show off these features in his robot mode. So, to start off with that, we're going to go ahead, flip his robot legs down, and his robot toes. Flip his beast toes up like that. Then we're going to take his front paws, flip them up like that, and then open up his chest and hinge them out all the way like this. That gives you your arms. Then we just flip out the fists. Then we're going to open that compartment up on the chest, as well as one on the back. And then we're going to flip things around. And then bring his legs down. And now he is so tall, he's out of frame. I'm going to have to move him back a little bit. There we go. And yeah, he is pretty sizable. His proportions are a little rough here, but I dig them. And like all, or almost all Beast Wars toys from this time frame, he's got two faces. So you got this sort of robot mode face, and then this more, I guess this would be the mutant face. I always thought of this as sort of a battle mask, and truth be told, it's my favorite version of his face, so I tend to keep him in that. This one, he's got this sort of like grimace going on, and I just never cared for it. He's showing his teeth like all the time in the sculpt. Don't like it. So I did say I was going to show off the gimmicks, so we're going to do this, and come on, there we go. Here is the Bat Scout. And he's got a lot of detail for just this little throwaway drone figure, basically. But everything is spring-loaded, so that way when you fire off, he just automatically transforms. This was a thing that they liked doing during this time frame. And he looks pretty cool for such a limited little dude. He's got a peg right here, so if you want, he can actually be held like this. Or you could even hold him around and say that he's now a blaster. You can use your imagination. And then on this side, we have just this robot attack claw thing. Not quite as cool as the bat drone thing firing off. Really, the drone thing was one of the big deals for this size class. His wave mate, Scorponok, had a little bee that would fire off. You can also store them, his front legs, back like this. I don't think that's even in the instructions, but that's just something that I figured out. Yeah, his knees can be a little weak at times. Articulation-wise, his head is on a swivel for rotating around. These have the ball joints here, so you can pose them like that, or you can hinge them downward. But it does kind of mess with things a little bit here, so it's not really meant to do that. It's just something that I do. You got a hinge here for transformation, which can let you reach across if you want. He's got a ball joint at the shoulder, which allows for some fairly decent movement, but you do get some restriction because of the basically bits of shell there. His elbow is a ball joint that only allows for 90 degrees of bend, but you can rotate that around as well. Wrists have a hinge here, but that's really just for transformation. Legs can move independently, but there's not a whole lot of range, partly because of how everything is designed here. So you've got, I don't know if it's I guess it's a type of ball joint, but everything is so tight that you can't really do much. But you can kick up about that far. Knee is single jointed, but because of transformation, it can go all the way like that. And you cannot kick backwards. Also, you're kind of forcing things a little bit because these parts are interconnected to activate a little switch thing in here, which is part of what activates the mouth gimmick in the beast mode. And now I'm just setting everything off. These the little spring things are a bit on a hair trigger, and age of the figure is probably not helping that much. But yeah, he's a fun toy, and he's got some heft to him too. He's a little weirdly proportioned, but that helps kind of with this idea that he's this brawler of a character. Let's do some comparisons. Alright, so to start off, this is what he looks like next to a basic class Transformer from Beast Wars. This is Snapper, another one of my favorites, so expect a video on him sometime soon. Then going up a size, here he is next to Tigatron, who, because they're both like snow animals, always liked kind of teaming these two up. And then finally, here he is next to Scorponok, who does not want to stand. Oh my goodness. Here, try that again. Yeah, that tail is causing problems. Scorponok is also a Mega Class, but he does stand a little bit shorter than him. Though I think part of that is because most of his plastic is in his tail. Now, if you want something a little bit more contemporary, here he is next to Siege Deluxe Class Ironhide. Then in the Voyager class, which is kind of the closest equivalent we have to the old Mega class, we have Siege Springer. And for my Gunpla people, here he is next to a fairly standard HG. This is the 1/144 scale Gundam Age 1 normal. So yeah, he stands pretty tall. But yeah, this is a fun figure, and I would highly recommend it to anybody who likes Transformers or is looking to get into like Beast Wars or something like that. The main thing is you're just going to want to make sure you find one that's complete. Because this guy flies off so easily, it is very easy for him to get detached and lost. So if you're going out and buying one, just make sure either you're finding one that's 100% complete, or you're going to track down another one of these things later. All right. My camera got all walked around. So yeah, that has been a review. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. Check the description below for links to my storefront where you can get official shelf space t-shirts and more. And yeah, thank you again, and I'll see you the next time you invade my shelf space.